Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesdays. It's so lovely to be back here again this morning. Thanks to the British Beauty Council giving you a week of really interesting self-care advice that you can follow in just 1 minute a day, which is the whole premise of the Hey You method, which I created. And I had some questions actually that came in after the feed that I did yesterday. So before I give you this amazing technique of tapping, which I'm going to teach you in a minute, I'm just going to reply to some of the questions that popped up as a result of doing the feed yesterday. Good morning, everybody. So the first question was, what is the origins of this method? So the brand that I founded 3 years ago now is called the Hey You method. And the idea of the method is it's 1 minute to self-care. And the idea is that actually, if you know what you're doing, actually looking after your body and your beauty is actually no more difficult than looking after your teeth. I.e., if you know what to do and you have the right product, in as little as 1 or 2 minutes a day, you can make a massive difference to how you look and feel. And my background is in Chinese medicine. I started studying it 20 years ago, qualified in Chinese massage, Chinese reflexology, Chinese esoteric healing, and then finally qualified as an acupuncturist to become now a Chinese medicine practitioner. And all the way along my career of working in this amazing system of medicine, I learned these fantastic techniques, which I brought into the market with the crystal gua sha, which I brought out 3 years ago and was showing you yesterday. And then we launched the body range, which starts with this, the tapper. So the reason why, let me have a look what else, so how the method comes from China. So the reason why the method comes from my love of Chinese medicine is because that's what I've been studying my whole life and understood these brilliant techniques, but also because Chinese medicine is kind of shrouded in mystery and people often think that it's just acupuncture and herbs. But the reality is they have an aspect of their medicine which is called yang sheng, which is self-care. And they have a hugely comprehensive remit of what these incredible techniques are. And that was what I've been spending the last 10 years of my life studying in depth. And the idea of Yang Sheng is it boils down to 3 simple principles of preventative health. And this, in my opinion, is where the beauty market is going. It is no longer a miracle in a jar. It's no longer skin deep. Okay, the idea of beauty in Chinese medicine is it's the exterior manifestation of the interior health of your body. And with that, if you're not feeling well on the inside, you will never look your best on the exterior. And so what we're looking to do with these techniques is to ensure that your body is as healthy and as optimized and that preventative health is taken to the absolute extreme, just like you do with your teeth. Everybody brushes their teeth on a daily basis to ensure its health, to create lovely white teeth, and it's a pleasurable experience at the time. And we should be doing the same with our body and our beauty. And Chinese medicine really, really understands that. So the 3 principles of health that I discovered along the way, of which this tapper and the gua sha crystals all form a part, is as follows. 1. To be healthy and therefore beautiful, you need the free flow of qi and blood moving smoothly around your body. The second is you need to support the body's purging mechanics and nourish through with good oxygen, good food, good frequency, good thought patterns, good water, good breath. And if the body is toxic because it's overloaded, then its purging systems get overwhelmed and then it starts to get toxic and then you start to get symptoms. And then the final component of preventative health is to strengthen the 5 key organs. Now these organs are the heart, the lungs, the liver, the spleen, and the kidneys. And in Chinese medicine, they're like kingdoms in the body and they have responsibilities for every single aspect of your body, whether it's your emotions, your biology, or indeed your spirit. These 5 organs are responsible for everything and therefore it is our daily duty to keep them strong and optimized. And every technique that I teach you hooks into these 3 fundamental golden rules of self-care. And that's how it works, which is why we can give you these tools that only take a minute to do because they work so powerfully into those 3 mechanics, you will feel well. So to take you to the tapper is the most fantastic piece of kit. It is to the body what gua sha is to the face, okay? Because what it's doing is it's addressing the stagnation and the lack of circulation in the body. So just as gua sha means press, stroke, flush, gua is press, stroke, and sha is flush. The tapper pertains to something called pai sha, and pai means strike or percuss, flush. So just as with the crystals you're press stroking your skin, with the tapper you're tapping your skin to invigorate the chi and the blood. And what's lovely about it is it's a very dynamic tool that can be used in 1 minute flat. Its long shape and lightweight structure means that anybody can access all over the body, hard to reach areas like the upper back, lower legs. You can reach down to your feet. It's a very, very simple thing to do. And by striking your body on a daily basis for a minute will give you massive energy. Because instead of the energy or the chi of the cells just kind of going, as we're sitting at our desks and not moving around as much as we should, and then everything starts to stagnate and get settled, and then you start to get tired. When you invigorate the body with tapping, the opposite takes place. The cells start to energize, the movement of the oxygen starts to happen inside the cells, the frequency starts to speed up a little bit, everything starts to animate. Cells start to feel like this. And it's really, really simple. So this is why I'm standing here in my bathroom as usual. This entire brand came out of me in my bathroom experimenting with things. But there through that door is my shower. When I come out of the shower, I dry my skin. And the best time to use your tapper is at that moment. Okay? Dry, clean skin. Take the tapper and then start around the waist like this. Because what you're looking to do is invigorate this abdominal cavity. This is where you've got the liver, the spleen, the kidneys are here, the heart's here, the lungs are here. Everything starts in this kind of centre command, as I call it. You also want to work deep into this inguinal area. Let me just angle the camera for you. So you want this area here, okay, really worked on, because especially at this time of year, you've got a lot of lymph nodes all around this area of the body, and by tapping them, you're supporting the immune system by supporting the lymphatics, allowing these lymph areas around the groin to be nice and clean, moving freely so that you can eliminate any toxicity. So you just start your tapper by just tapping around the abdomen like this. I do a bit of a whipping technique in the lower belly like this. I've had a cesarean scar here, so this area of my body gets very congested if I'm not careful, so I pay close attention to this area. And one of the questions that I was asked was like how this method has helped me. And I can tell you this method has helped me on an extraordinary level. I mean, aside from, you know, the anti-aging benefits, if you look at my skin as a realistic nearly 48-year-old woman, basically living my life and running my business, and I don't have Botox and fillers, I'm just using the gua sha on my skin. I use the comb, which I'll show you later in the week, to keep my hair nice and thick, and then I use my tapper to give me energy, but also has the most fantastic effect on the quality of your skin and cellulite. So this is where these kind of beauty aspects of the body are now harmonizing. Instead of beauty being a sort of separate thing to health, actually when you're working preventatively with the body and working with the body systems, it will automatically go into shape. Wobbly bits will simply disappear. Sculpted, defined bodies will start to come back into shape. Lines and wrinkles will start to ease away. The sculpted, defined look that we're looking for in our skin will start to reappear. So it's actually a very simple process. So I'll stop talking and let me just, because it's quite hard to tap and talk. So we go round the abdomen like this, and then I extra tension in the inguinal areas like this, just around the hips, and then down the outside of the leg, up the inside. You're following the energetic pathways of the body, just going up the inside, and just repeat. So these channels go up the inside of the leg and down the outside. Very simple to do. It only takes a minute. You can put your leg up like this if you want or not. You can just stand. And then over the chest, just to allow everything to just open. And then down the inside of the arms, up the outside. The tapper is brilliantly designed to hit your shoulders. And you can go over the head. Really good for headaches, for thickening hair. Good hair days. Very good for memory. Getting all the blood back up into the brain. It really is as simple as that. Now there's extra things once you've got your 1 minute routine kind of under control, which is what I recommend. You just finish your shower, dry your skin, use the tapper on naked skin. If you can also keep the tapper down at your desk, I have one down there as well, so that when I'm sitting for long periods of time in lockdown at the moment, every time I go to the loo, I'm going to come back and give myself a minute where I will re-tap my body, okay, because it gets that circulation back to where it needs to be. It's such a simple technique, and yet it works so well. At this time of year, it's also particularly relevant to tap joints, because the liver is the dominant organ in springtime, and the liver is responsible for sinews and tendons, all of which are kind of round the joints. So as you add to your basic 1 minute routine, you can just tap the elbows and the wrists. It's really good for joint pain. Tap into the armpits. It's really good for lymphatics, and then you can tap down the sides of the body. So this is what I love about the method, is that you start with this 1 minute kind of concept. But once you've got the hang of what you're doing, once you've got the hang of it, you'll start to recognise kind of how good it makes you feel, and then you're going to want to start adding things in, because then suddenly what becomes a 1 minute energy burst actually becomes something that's extremely good for preventative joint care. It's really good for weight loss. It's really good for kind of heavy lymphy areas. If you get heavy legs, or you get cellulite, or you get things kind of puffing up in the heat, just getting that tapper onto, sort of like my legs, for example, get quite heavy, so just tapping them is really good. And then often what a lot of my community have been doing, they bought 2 tappers, and now at the moment they're doing double tapping, which is hugely satisfying, really, really, really dynamic. And if that's not all, aside from the fact that when you tap vigorously, you are energizing the body, you can also use the tapper in reverse. So then you can do it to help you get ready for sleep. Because one of the main reasons we're struggling with sleep so much at the moment is because as we get stressed, the body takes the circulation out of what it deems the peripheral organs, which is the digestion and the skin. Now that creates a whole load of kind of skin and beauty and digestive issues in itself. But then the next step is it takes that blood and it puts it into the muscles for fight or flight. And you are simultaneously producing a whole world of stress hormones, which are all getting clogged up into the process. And when you do the fight or flight, the next step of the journey is you fight or you flight. So the body's designed for you to move and exercise. But we're not doing that. We're sitting at our desks, and we're now at our desks even more than we were before. We're barely getting out of the house. So what's happening is that all of that kind of toxicity is getting stuck in the muscles. And then when it comes to sleep, what then happens is that very same blood is designed to go into the organs at night to rest and restore the organs. That's the process of sleep. That's why you put a duvet on, because you'll be cold on the outside of your body because the blood's gone to the interior. But when it gets stuck in these muscles with all this toxicity, then there's a sort of dialogue that takes place in the body whereby the organs are going, right, come on guys, we're going to sleep now, let's have the blood. And either there's no blood because it's stuck in the muscles, or the body's desperately trying to get the blood out and it's full of toxicity. And then you get restless. Now, either you're struggling to then get to sleep at all, which is the first batch of people, or you're so exhausted, you just collapse into sleep anyway, but then you tend to wake up in the middle of the night. And this is a really common problem even before we were all stuck at home. Now we're stuck at home, it's got even worse. So what to do? Well, tap. Because it's the same product that you've already got, and that you're doing it in a slightly different way. Because what we need to do is reverse that process before we go to sleep so that the blood is flowing smoothly around the body, able to go into the organs to restore them, and it's not congested with a whole load of toxic stress hormones. So the same principles apply. We allow and assist the free flow of qi and blood. We support the body with its purging mechanisms and nourish through with fresh qi, fresh energy, fresh thinking, and we strengthen the 5 key organs. So we tap, but this time we tap slowly, because what this does is create a very soporific beat around the body, allowing it to start relaxing and taking the signal that it can start to switch off and relax at the end of the day. And you slowly, gently, rhythmically relax the body. Really, really works. And I'm very proud to say as a brand, so many Trustpilot reviews about this. This isn't just me saying this and saying, trust me, it works. I give you the theory. I promise you Chinese medicine really knows what it's talking about. It might have been slightly shrouded in mystery up until recently, but it's my job to kind of take the lid off that and explain these wonderful techniques to you so that you in turn can benefit. So you just gently tap. You can take it to the chest. But what you do is you keep it rhythmical. I know lots of people who've bought into this idea and are swearing by it. Just put some music on and you just tap in time to the music. God, it's making me sleepy just doing it. This is so the wrong time of day to be giving you soporific tapping. But you just slowly, gently work your way round the body. And you just do it for maybe 5 minutes if your sleep is bad, because you just need to get that whole thing moving around the body. Focus on the lymphatics, because as you're clearing out these stress hormones and the stagnant blood and anything that's just toxic floating about, any debris from the day, you just want to get it into those lymph nodes so that the body can excrete. So lots of attention around the groin down here. So with the same technique, you're doing two different things. Vigorously, you can wake yourself up, and slowly, you can calm yourself down. I'm going to have to speed it back up because it's going to make me sleepy. It's too early in the morning to start feeling like that. But tapping vigorously is the most brilliant way to kind of give you energy, okay? And it's such a simple technique. And what I love about using these products is that these are naturally sourced. Bamboo is a bit like hemp. It's one of those new miracle products that we're all focusing on because it's so renewable. It grows really quickly. It's lightweight because it's like 160 grams. Woo! So, which means anyone can use it. You know, my elderly father uses it. He gets a stiff hip, and so he has this by his bedside. And when he swings his leg out in the morning, he just gives his leg a nice tap. And because of the shape, he can reach all the way down like that. There, I'm at my foot. Look. There. Because of the nature of the shape of the instrument, and the same with the back. Just gives it this lovely, lovely reach to all over the body. Very good for headaches and invigorating, thinking, waking up the body. Might look a bit odd, but trust me, it works brilliantly well. And I mean, I have to say that if you come over to the Hey You tribe or the Katie Brindle tribe, you will see the responses that we get from people about these products. I mean, they work, okay? This product has won multiple awards, and it's a fantastic way, if you're a therapist, to basically get your patients or your clients to do something good for themselves in between treatments, okay? It works on fat, it works on cellulite, it works on skin tone, it works for your energy, it wakes you up, it helps you go to sleep, it calms you down, it's good for hair, it's good for thinking. So basically, it's one of those all-encompassing products that really does do a lot. And I'm delighted to say that we have a secret code for everybody here on the British Beauty Council, which is Beauty20, digit 20, which will give you an automatic 20% discount off any of the products this week whilst I'm a guest on the site. So I think the only other thing to say, guys, before I finish is just to finish answering one last question, which is kind of why China? Because I know China's possibly not very fashionable at the moment, but I don't care. Because I can tell you that I discovered Chinese medicine when I was really ill. Okay, I'd had this horrible car accident which had derailed my entire life. I couldn't work, I couldn't pursue my career as a singer, I couldn't do anything. I was trapped in pain and misery and suffering. And I did what so many people do, which is I went to my Western doctor, and unfortunately for me, they couldn't help me. I know if they do help you, then problem solved. But when the Western medicine can't seem to sort the problem out, we as a sort of population sort of end up in this kind of very confusing world of alternative practitioners, where it's very hard to know what to do and who to trust and who's good and who's not, and to even understand our own bodies and how they work, which I didn't at the time. Even though I'd done like GCSE biology, I didn't really understand what was causing this pain. I was just in pain. And it wasn't until about 7 years later, after having this accident, that I discovered Chinese medicine, where the practitioner did gua sha, which was body gua sha on my upper back. And it was just a life-altering moment for me, because it just got rid of the problem immediately. I couldn't believe it. I was weeping in excitement and joy and frustration all at the same time. And that was the beginning of my journey into Chinese medicine, which was like literally walking into the Aladdin's cave of wonders in terms of what Chinese medicine can offer us. So yes, there's acupuncture, yes, there's herbal medicine, but there is also Tuina massage, there's Qigong, there's Yang Sheng, there's all these amazing products, there's nutritional therapy, there's spiritual therapy, there's so many different aspects to it which are mind-blowing. But having spent 20 years studying it, I boiled it down to these 3 simple principles that I bring to you today. That if you want to really get self-care really established, then come into your bathroom like I'm standing here now and think of these products like a toothbrush. Just like you take onus to brush your teeth on a daily basis, which is pleasurable, aesthetically pleasing, but also giving you long-term benefits. And that's exactly the same as all of these products. And then I humbly offer them to you like a toothbrush, so that if you are a practitioner, you then become like the hygienist. Like I was before I started to focus all my life on this, that as a therapist, we are the people that can kind of hook in before, so whilst you're working on the minute-to-minute basis at home, then you come and have regular treatments to kind of grow that benefit energy and then deepen the practice and make it better. So that instead of kind of this zigzag theory, which I felt before, that, you know, you'd see a therapist and then it would drop back down again, that now you see the therapist, you keep it going. You see the therapist, you keep it going. You see the therapist, you keep it going. And it's more of a symbiosis. And where I feel that hopefully one day Western medicine will get to is that the GP will be able to act like the dentist and actually be able to test us regularly in, say, every 6-month consultations, like the dentist does, where we have a checkup and we make sure that everything's okay and that we check everything in advance, rather than the existing method where we sort of do what we want and then we might or might not see a therapist and then eventually we go to the doctor when there's a problem. And we've nailed it with our teeth. So I firmly believe as a brand that we can do exactly the same thing for our bodies and for our beauty, and that's where the market's going. So these products are here to serve you in clinics, but they're also for you to give or sell to your public so that they are using them in between sessions. And hopefully if we can all work together in this way, we can make a massive difference to how everybody looks and feels, which really was the driving force behind the brand. So yes, it's 1 minute to self-care, but really the thing that sits underneath that is to master your health. And that's really how I came into being the founder of the Hey You Method and standing here on the Beauty Council this morning. So thank you so much for having me today. Tomorrow I am doing eyes and lips. So we're going to be going in on the detailed areas of the eye and lip area, and I will be teaching you some wonderful techniques to get the best out of your treatments and also out of your own beauty. So do please ask any questions if anyone wants me to touch on anything tomorrow. I covered everything from yesterday. It's been a joy to be here this morning. Thank you so much for having me, and I will see you tomorrow.